I was sitting here thinking just how powerful and amazing detachment is. Ladies, detachment is one of the most powerful things you can do, and it will change your life. Mastering detachment is not just for your peace, but also for your growth. As women, we naturally are good at holding space. We see a man we like and we align with him emotionally, and before anything is fully developed, we've created a space for him in our hearts. We see potential, we see a future, we imagine a relationship, the moments, maybe even the marriage and the kids. And that's not a flaw per se, it's just how we're wired. We connect emotionally, we lead with empathy, we hold space very beautifully, but you have to learn how to master detachment, not in a cold or bitter way, but in a very healthy and safe and self-honoring way. People change, and not every man will be ready and aligned or even honest with where he stands. When we don't practice detachment, we end up clinging to a fantasy of what could be, even when reality is showing us something different. But when you're detached, you can observe his actions clearly without needing them to match your expectations. You can say, "This doesn't align with what I need," and walk away in peace, not in confusion. I've learned that detachment lets you feel your feelings, honor them, and still move forward. It helps you stop romanticizing red flags or rewriting someone else's behavior into a story that makes sense. And most importantly, the quicker you release what's not for you, the quicker you create space for what is. It's okay to say, "I wanted this to work. I really liked him, but this isn't what I deserve. So I'm letting go." That's not weak. It's not weakness. This is self-respect, and it takes a lot of self-awareness to do this. It takes a lot of practice, but it's the difference between lingering in pain and then stepping into an alignment with something that you actually want because you chose the truth over what was a fantasy. And it helps you to make room for what is supposed to come into your life. I hope you have a wonderful day.
If you want more peace, detach yourself from every outcome. Do your very best at everything you do, but do not worry about how things will turn out. Flow with everything that is presented to you, whether it be good or bad. Look at everything as an opportunity to grow. Look at everything as an opportunity to heal. Look at everything as an opportunity to help others. But the less reactive we become to the outcome, the more things will flow. The more we will have ease, the more we will have peace. Life becomes a lot more fun when you release control and you stop worrying about what's next. You let God be God. And you also trust that everything is working together for his good. Even when it looks bad, if you release the idea of what things should look like, and you trust that God has everything in order, you will experience more peace. You will experience less anxiety. Because also sometimes we forget that we're not really in control. You may feel as though we're in control, but then when life throws curveball, now you're dealing with something you never thought you would be dealing with. You realize that you're never really truly in control. And there's not much you really can do. You can just do your very best at everything, but release the worry and trust that God has your best interests at heart. That's literally all you can do.
One thing that life is teaching me as a woman is that if you want everything, you have to care about nothing. It's literally the law of detachment. When you let go, you're basically telling the universe, "I'm trusting in you to navigate my life." And that's when you get everything. Have you ever talked to a person and heard them say, "The minute I didn't want it no more is the minute I got it"? Yeah, it works. The law of detachment is a real thing. This is exactly why I don't stress no more. I don't care. I literally just let everything go. Because when you let go, you always receive better. And that goes for jobs, relationships, friends, anything that you have to let go of, it's always going to get replaced with better. I used to stress out so bad when things weren't going my way. And one day I was just like, why am I stressing so much when I can't control this situation, or I can't control how this person is treating me? I can't fix it and nothing's going to change. Why do I care so much? But the minute I just said it is what it is, I swear I just get everything I ever wanted now. And I still don't care. I get it and I'm appreciative, but in the back of my mind, I still have this little voice that says, "Thank you, universe," but I'm not too pressed over it, if you get what I'm saying. I know it's hard, but just let it go and just watch your life be an amazing masterpiece.
True detachment is the most magnetic frequency in the universe. Want to know what actually changed my life? Yeah, it wasn't trying harder, it wasn't being more disciplined, it wasn't manifesting more. No, it was the opposite. It was actually letting go. Letting go of control, letting go of needing to be liked, letting go of this false urgency to be somewhere else. You see, when you stop gripping outcomes so tightly, you create space, and in that space, life rushes in. The things that are meant for you find you. The relationships that match your worth feel safe enough to land. The money, the opportunities, they flow towards you. Not because you're chasing, but because you're available. And here's the paradox. When you truly don't need it, you become the most attractive version of yourself.
The law of detachment will be one of the hardest concepts to grasp as you tap into your higher self, but once you do, you'll be unstoppable. And really, that's just because detaching teaches you that no matter how much you love someone, no matter how much you care, no matter how much you respect somebody, if you're not on the same vibrational frequency, there's only so long you can be around these people. Family, friends, relationship, is all of the above. It's very easy for people to become codependent on a high vibrational person because of the energy you carry naturally. But for you, the high vibing person, being around these people can be extremely draining because you almost feel necessary for things to not be extremely chaotic. Tapping into your higher self requires you to go into solitude and isolation in order to fulfill your purpose, because it's way bigger than the people that are looking to rely on you within your inner circle. That means that your purpose can be attached to healing thousands or millions of people, not just the one or two family members that you really trying to pull out of this hell. The law of detachment will help you to realize that it's not your decision who you choose and can be around once you tap into your higher self. It's God's. You'll no longer be able to thrive in certain energies once you tap into your higher self. That doesn't mean you love anybody any less. That doesn't mean you can't still conversate, but you do have to feed them out of a long-handled spoon. Essentially because they still have to work to get where you already are. And if they continue to rely on you, they'll just be codependent, stuck in the same cycle, trying to drag you down back to where you were. And you know you can't go back. Once you tap into that higher frequency, once you tap into your higher self, you can still go back and get these people if they're ready and willing, but they have to put in some work on their own. So, detach. Learn that you can love people from a distance. Learn that there's no love lost based off those things. Now, if someone else feels that way based off you making a decision to do better for yourself, what can you do about it? There are people that I love that I had to leave behind, and that's just a matter of it. And there are just shitty people that I had to leave behind because they don't want to be where I am. And that's the thing. It's like we're so busy trying to pull and drag people into this life of living and being free and, you know, just your higher self. You're trying to pull them there and they're not ready. And that's okay. Eventually they'll get tired of the same cycle just like you did. And if not, they have another lifetime where they can do it again. But for you, niggas ain't trying to do this again. Absolutely not. If I don't have to, I ain't coming back. Detach and grow. Detach from things that no longer serve you so you can tap into your higher self and really fulfill your ultimate purpose. Some of the people that you love the most are stopping you from that.
One message that I feel like keeps speaking to me is learning to master the art of detachment as well as letting things go. And I know it is hard to let certain things go. It's not to invalidate your feelings. Like, you may be justified in the reason to hold on to whatever it is, whether that's a job, a place, a habit, a person, whatever the thing may be. You may have, your feelings are validated and why you don't want to let it go or why you just can't get over it. But it gets to a point where you're so busy holding on to that it then hinders you. You want blessings, you want to grow, you want to become better, but you cannot do so because you're still holding on to stuff that's holding you back. Whether that's the feeling of anger, whether that's a person that's hindering, whether that's a place that's stunting your growth. On the other side of that, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't want to do, they don't want to let things go because it's hard. Because after you let something go, you now have to go through the grieving process of living life without that. And that might be a little bit scary, but again, it is necessary, because if you don't, your feelings may be valid. Say, for instance, someone betrayed you, and you may have every single reason not to continue to be mad. But it gets to a point where you hinder yourself because you're so busy holding on to that anger that you're now refusing yourself to grow and move on from that, because you're holding on to something that happened in the past. And the truth of the matter is, there's going to be times where you don't get an apology. People are not going to feel resentment for what they wronged you. Places you just going to think, hey, it's comfortable. This is what I'm used to. But you're still unhappy. And so once you decide to let it go, you then have to face that healing process, because ultimately it is like a death or like a breakup. You have to deal with losing that part of you that was so used to dealing with that person, place, or thing, because it became a habit. It became part of the routine. You have to now face that and see what it looks like and enter the unknown. And that's where a lot of people do not want to face, because it's easier to hold on to what you're used to. But it gets to a point that you are now hindering yourself because you're so focused on, oh, this didn't work out, or this person did that, this person did that. Like, yeah, they did. But now you are the one to blame, because you're not allowing yourself to move on and get the blessings and what the peace that you want at the end of the day. But on the other side of that's where it's at. And it's hard. No one ever said letting go was going to be an easy decision, because it's not meant to be. But once you finally get the strength and the courage to let it go, you will realize, and you really have to believe, I'll let this go, and there's going to be blessings on the other side of this. Better is going to be on the other side of letting this go. And it's going to be hard because you don't know. And that's where faith kicks in, because it's like, okay, I have faith that once I decide to let this go, despite me not knowing what's on the other side of this, I will get what I deserve. But it's not until you face that, let it go, detach, deal, heal, where you're then allowed to grow, evolve, and then can see the blessings to come in. But if you continue to harbor onto that, yes, you may have every right to do so. But is it fair to you to keep doing that and keep, holding on to negative energy that doesn't matter? Or you can let it go and decide to pour into yourself, love yourself, and get blessings and peace and positive energy into the future.
On your journey, your intuition starts to grow stronger, your discernment starts to grow stronger, and that's something you really just can't ignore. You have to listen to your intuition and use your discernment to allow it to guide you. One of the hardest parts about having a good intuition and a really good discernment is when you can no longer recognize the people that you really have genuine love for. And I'm not talking about them being physically unrecognizable. I'm talking about when you can't even recognize their spirit anymore. Like, you're literally being forced to watch somebody that you genuinely had a really good connection with become a stranger. And that's a hard ass pill to swallow. But you gotta do it, because in order for you to grow, sometimes you have to let people go. You have to understand that everyone that comes into your life is either meant to teach you a lesson about yourself or just share this experience with you. Detachment teaches us that we are just meant to experience people. So if you're attached to someone and then the experience that you're having with them ends, you're still going to be attached to them. And it's going to be hard for you to move forward, hard for you to grow. We have to let go of the attachment that we have to people. This is what it looks like to be attached to someone who isn't attached to you. Someone that you had an experience with that ended and you're still attached to them. This is what it's doing to you. That's why detachment is so important. This is why you learn to love yourself. This is why you learn to know your worth. Letting go of your attachment is necessary for your growth. And detachment isn't easy. It takes a lot of time and a lot of trust in yourself. But you can do it. You got this. We got this. As a collective, we are rising. Peace and love, y'all.
Hey, girl. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to pop in and just let y'all know from personal experience. I just know Mastering the art of detachment, girl, it is literally life changing. And it's not even about quote unquote not caring. It's really more so a release for peace. You know what I mean? Just being detached from people and places and things. It gives you room for joy and happiness and less stress, among other things. I think the best way to sum it up pretty much is to do your best and let God do the rest. That's what's up. So let me know where you are on your journey in the comments below, ladies. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.